Yan, okay. So once again, for our discussion for today, we will actually be focusing on this part, the assessment in the affective domain, and pag-uusapan natin kung paano nga ba natin possible talaga na mabigyan ng corresponding points or scores yung mga estudyante natin kapag pinag-uusapan natin itong bagay na to. Kasi most of the times, just like what is actually being experienced by many of you, it is very hard to measure the existence of a behavior of an individual. Okay? Ano nga ba yung gauge natin para masabi natin ng isang tao ay mabait? Ano nga ba yung gauge natin for us to say that someone is um, creative? O kaya naman, paano natin masasabi na resourceful ang isang individual? So those things are actually related with the concept ng mismong nakalaan dito sa idea natin ng mismong affective domain. And probably, I would like to ask you guys regarding this particular question. You can send your answers sa chat na lang, or if you can unmute your microphone, pwede rin naman. Since medyo trending itong idea or question na to last time, para dun sa mga chronically online dyan, how do you heal your inner child? Ayan. Sige. Since isa ito dun sa mga naging mainit na topic sa social media nitong mga nakakaraan lang, regarding the existence of your inner child. For some of you, paano nyo nga ba hinihil yung mismong inner child ninyo? Or meron na ba nag-exist na inner child sa inyo? Ayun, sige guys. So, um, are you actually healing your inner child? Okay, so Ligaya, go. Ayun, sige, medyo choppy lang. Sige, try mo ulit.
I'm sorry.
Ayun, sige,
Okay na
much
po.
audible. Yes, audible na.
So, I think po I am healing my inner child po by rewarding myself with, um, ano po sir, yung parang halimbawa po yung mga small wins ko sir, halimbawa yung aware ako na napasa ko yung iba kong exams and although yung iba hindi, pero mga yun eh, kumbaga parang I reward myself sa lahat na, sa pagbili ng mga food na alam kong nagbibigay ng comfort sa akin, gano'n. Or minsan naman I spend a lot of time para sa sarili ko, sir.
And so thank you for mentioning those things, especially yung minention mo yung word na reward. Sige. How about you, Francesca?
Ano po, I heal my inner child, yung kumbaga, the things that I didn't have before. Kapag may extra ako para may extra akong money for for things, I spend it on myself instead of giving it to my loved ones, ganyan po. So in that, parang na-appreciate ko po yung things na ito pala dapat sa akin pa nung bata ako, meron ako nito, but I didn't have the privilege to have that. So, now na may medyo may income ako, ganyan-ganyan, I reward myself, I give myself some self-care po to to have that.
And sige, thank you for mentioning those things. Tsaka pag-share, baka meron pang gustong mag-share sa inyo, pwedeng chat na lang dito sa mismong GC natin or dito sa mismong chat natin, okay? So, those ideas that you actually mentioned regarding yung idea natin ng reward, yung happiness, idea of privilege, tsaka self-care, those are some of the common themes na mapapansin natin whenever we are talking about this particular instance kapag nag-heal tayo ng mismong inner child natin. Okay? Para dun sa mga chronically online nga, probably yung ilan sa inyo aware dito dun sa mismong video na on his very first pay, bumili siya dito ng iba't ibang mga merchandise from Toy Kingdom kasi yun yung mga instances na hindi niya kaya ma-afford nung bata pa siya. Okay? Those are actually some of the things um, that makes us wonder, ano nga ba yung nangyayari dun sa mismong affect or dun sa tinatawag natin na behavioral or attitude side ng bawat isang individual. In general, kung pag-uusapan po natin itong mga to, ano nga ba yung mga priorities ng isang individual whenever they are doing things? papasok din dito yung konsepto ng motivation, papasok din dito yung context natin regarding the actual utilization ng iba't ibang mga resources na meron pagdating sa individual na to. So, if we would like to heal our inner child, the first thing that we're actually tapping into are the concepts na related po pagdating sa pag-uusapan natin for today. Kaya medyo nirelate ko lang siya, okay? Pero kung tutuusin, lahat ng mga bagay na yun are actually related on our idea of the affective domain. Okay, sorry. So, in our case, kapag pinag-uusapan po natin yung existence ngayon ng affective domain, so quick recall lang ha, okay, hindi po talaga ito yung main gist ng discussion natin kasi itong bagay na to, para paulit-ulit nyo na siya na pag-uusapan sa iba't ibang mga prof ed subjects ninyo. Pero just a quick recall, when we talk of the affective domain, tandaan, it is not only about the behavior and attitudes, but it also includes the manner in which we deal with different things emotionally. Okay? Common example nga or magagamit natin example dito yung existence ng para dun sa mga chronically online nga dyan, sige, share ko tong screen na to regarding the existence of this page of this particular individual on Twitter or on X. Okay? If an individual is actually spending that much pagdating doon sa iba't ibang mga bagay na hindi niya nakuha dati, and he is actually explaining the things kung ano nga ba yung mga nagawa niya dun sa mga available na resources sa kanya, kung bakit niya nai-enjoy itong mga bagay na to, why he splurge on those particular things, are actually related with our context and our concept of our self-worth. Okay? And those are some of the things na related pagdating dito sa context natin ng mismong affective domain. We're talking about how we as individuals deal with different things emotionally. If we would like to enjoy some things, kung sa tingin natin na deserve natin na mag-enjoy, we are doing those things. Okay? Pero minsan, kapag ini-enjoy natin itong mga bagay na to, minsan nagkakaroon pa rin tayo ng point of view regarding how about we provide some of these things dun sa mga individuals na gusto talaga natin bigyan. Just like what was actually mentioned kanina ni Francesca, na minsan we are focusing muna dun sa mga loved ones natin before we focus on ourselves. Pero there are some instances na kinakailangan magkaroon muna tayo ng self-care bago natin isipin yung ibang individuals. Kasi at the end of the day, our feelings, values, and all of those things, all of them are basically valid. Okay? So lahat po sila ay valid. Whatever we are feeling, whatever we would like to do with our expenses, with our time, with the different resources that we have, valid po yung application ng mga yan. Kaso nga lang, hindi po sila nagiging valid or masasabi po natin na it is in a negative light kapag ang nangyayari po dito sa bagay na to is that you are now already overstepping on your particular boundaries. Okay, so kung mapapansin po ninyo, medyo philosophical yung discussion natin for today kasi yun po talaga yung context, yun yung gist ng mismong existence ng affective domain. So we are talking about the existence po ng growth in different areas. Sorry, wait lang. May reply lang sa email. Sorry. May nag-message. Okay, sorry, going back. Now, we're actually focused dun sa mga ideas natin regarding the concept of our enthusiasm, kung paano nga ba natin nag-stay yung mismong pagkagusto natin pagdating sa isang bagay. Or for instance, bakit nga ba meron kayo iba't ibang mga hobbies? Bakit nga ba ilan sa mga hobbies natin na outgrow na rin natin? Okay, na dati you are collecting books or you are reading books, ngayon mas gusto mo na lang na gumamit ng social media. Or kung dati yung enthusiasm mo ay nakafocus sa pakikipag-socialize sa iba't ibang individuals, ngayon na burnout ka na or naubusan ka na ng social battery. Kung dati you like or you have the preference pagdating sa isang certain type ng pagkain, ngayon nawala na yung preference na yun. So those things are all related with the affect na tinatawag po natin. Okay? So the affect mula po dun sa mismo affective domain focuses po dito sa mga bagay na to. Emotions, feelings, not only attitudes and behaviors, our appreciation, enthusiasm, motivations. So ito pong mga bagay na to, as teachers, we would like to focus on how our students are actually growing on those particular aspects. Because this existence of the affect ng bawat isang estudyante natin will also provide to us the context of how they are going to behave inside and outside of our class. Hindi lamang po behavior, hindi lamang attitude nila, but even yung continuous motivation and enthusiasm nila pagdating sa kanilang mismong pag-aaral. Okay? So, medyo far-fetched man yung ginawa natin example kanina, pero kung titingnan po kasi natin yung iba't iba mga descriptors of the affective domain, all of them are actually focused on this particular context. So, meron po tayong 5 major descriptors for the different categories in the affective domain. Okay? So, if you're going to utilize a mnemonic, we have the RRVOI. So, the RRVOI, ito po yung iba't ibang mga levels ngayon on how we are actually categorizing the different levels in the affective domain. Okay? So, yung iba't ibang mga levels po in the affective domain starts with how we receive a certain phenomena. Okay? We are passive pagdating po sa bagay na to. We start as passive individuals until we became active, until we internalize all of those things. Okay, so kung sa case po ng cognitive domain, there is the existence of what we are calling as the higher order thinking skills or yung HOTS, at meron tayong LOTS. In the case of the affective domain, meron po tayong 3 phases for them. First one, yung tinatawag po natin na passive phase. Second one is the existence po ng ating active phase. And the third one is the existence of the internalizing or internalization stage. Okay? So, ulitin ko lang po meron po tayong tinatawag na passive, active, and internalizing stages. Pagdating po kay or skills na available po pagdating kay affective domain. So, wala po tayong ginagamit dito na HOTS or LOTS. Okay? Kasi yung point of view po natin regarding how we perceive the different things around us, how your students will be perceiving the different things surrounding them, are now in different levels of their inclusion pagdating sa mga bagay na to. Halimbawa na lang, if you are listening to this particular class, nasa lowest level pa lang po tayo. Okay? You are just receiving the phenomena. Passive ka pa lang na nakikinig sa mismong discussion. Okay? Nakikinig ka lang, then minsan nag-a-agree ka o kaya meron ka mga personal questions pagdating sa mga bagay na to. Balikan lang po natin. Kung sa question na to kanina, meron kang answers na you kept on your own, na i-tweet mo na lang mamaya sa social media, nandun ka pa sa point ng mismong tinatawag natin na case of the receiving the phenomenon. Okay? So, nire-receive nyo pa lang po yung mismong phenomenon during that particular time. Pero, if you will be actively participating, iba-ibang levels na po yan. So, kung ang passive ay receiving the phenomena lang, yung pagiging active po ay 3 levels yan. Meron tayo ditong responding to phenomena, valuing, and even organization. Okay? So, iba't ibang levels po yun ng pagiging active So, halimbawa na lang po, responding to phenomena. Ang case natin dito, you were asked by your teacher, you responded. Meron kang ginawang action to reciprocate that particular action by your teacher. So, nag-respond ka. If you will just be responding and you will just state kung ano yung unang pumasok sa isip mo, that's responding to phenomena. But, kung ikaw or tiningnan mo yung mismong value system mo, just like what was actually mentioned earlier by your classmates, na humugot sila dito na experience nila, that is already the form of valuing. Okay? Then, kapag nirelate nila yung response ng mga klase nila with your other classmates, that's already the form of organization. So yung parang ginagawa ko ngayon that I am providing the examples dun sa answer kanina regarding healing your inner child sa mga sinabi ng mga kaklase ninyo, that's already the level of organization. Okay, so kung napapansin ninyo, ngayon pa lang, habang nakikinig pa lang kayo within 4 minutes sa discussion natin, we already utilized 4 levels in the affective domain or 4 steps. Passive and yung tatlong active. Okay? So paano po siya magiging internalizing? Paano po siya magiging long term? So if ever man that you will be yung sinabi ko kanina na kung meron kayong personal na answers then wala pa kayong naging response pagdating dito and you will be sending it in the social media, magtitweet kayo mamaya, magpipiggyback kayo sa discussion na to, magpo-post kayo sa Facebook o kaya naman kung saan man regarding this particular discussion regarding healing your inner child. That is already the characterization na tinatawag natin. Or ito na yung point na kung saan you are not only being active as a student or as a listener, but you're also being proactive and at the same time reactive. Okay? So ibig sabihin lang po nito that you are now internalizing all of the answers that were provided and you are now giving your own response, you are now rebutting, and you are now debating regarding this particular matter. Kaya nga po yung isa doon sa mga questions natin, debating regarding your own point of view, hindi po yun cognitive domain, but rather, it is already a part ng affective domain. Okay? Kasi tandaan po natin, kapag ikaw ay nakikipagdebate based on your stance, based on your stand pagdating sa isang bagay, that is already your own value system. Okay? Kung, sorry, medyo trigger man, kung ikaw man ay hindi sumusuporta sa EJK or sumusuporta ka sa EJK, that is related sa mismong value system mo. Okay? Related po yan sa value system natin. But if you will be arguing with different individuals regarding matter of life and death, syempre, there's a possibility na merong negative side pagdating sa mismong value system na nag-e-exist pagdating sa'yo. Okay? We are not challenging your value system, but rather we would like to know kung ano nga ba yung nag-e-exist na values pagdating sa bagay na to. Yun po yung case natin dito sa unang dalawang steps or dalawang stages. Kapag ikaw ay napaisip kung ay tama ba yung choices ko or mali yung choices ko, that's already the part of internalizing. Okay? Mas mataas na level na yan. You are now internalizing yung mga concepts na binigay sa'yo and you are thinking outside of the box. Probably dito po sa part na to, ito yung isa sa mga pinakamahirap na ma-achieve pagdating po sa mga estudyante natin. Okay? Kasi nga po, you would like to try to change the point of view of this particular individuals. Pero as teachers, kinakailangan po, hindi natin to gagawin ng sobrang drastic. Na kailangan ay maniwala kayo dito sa point of view na to. Kailangan ito lang yung tamang point of view pagdating sa isang bagay. Kasi all of those answers, all of the responses ng mga estudyante ninyo ay nakabase sa kung ano nga ba yung kanilang mga pinagdaanan. Okay, so tandaan po natin yan. Lahat tayo ay merong value system. Your students also have their own value system and beliefs. Itong unang apat na to will provide the passive and the active na affect ng mga estudyante natin, pero yung last one, ito yung isa sa mga pinaka-importante pero pinaka-mahirap na ma-achieve on how they will be internalizing the value para masabi nila, ay, parang mali yung choices ko. Bakit ako nagsusupport sa gantong individual? Bakit ganito yung pininiwalaan ko pagdating sa iba't ibang mga stance? Okay? So, for that particular instance, mapapansin din po natin kung titingnan natin yung mga levels, siya yung nasa pinakataas. Okay? Kasi nasa pinakataas, it is now on a stable state. But, it can still be challenged. Okay? So, kinakailangan po nating i-challenge kung ano nga ba yung belief system that is existing on our students, especially kung hindi nag-a-align yung belief system nila regarding the good or the proper belief system. Okay? So, halimbawa na lang dito, gamitin ko na example. During one of my class, nung nasa senior high school pa ako nito, share ko lang tong part na to. Dumating yung point that I became very frustrated when it comes to my class. Kasi nagtuturo ako ng genetics dati sa senior high school. Okay? One of my tasks pagdating sa kanila, basahin nila tong specific na chapter na to ng libro kasi gusto ko na pagbalik ko or kapag nagkaroon kami ng face-to-face na session, they will be able to answer those particular things, yung mga questions na ibibigay ko. Kasi ganun ako madalas kapag nagpo-provide ng discussion. Gusto ko na open-ended siya, magagaling sa mga estudyante yung answers, especially for the major, kasi mga STEM students sila Then, whiteboard lang talaga yung dala ko nun. I mean, marker lang yung bit-bit ko nun. Hindi ako nagdadala talaga ng presentation dati when I'm conducting my class in the senior high school. So that's all about genetics. My students do not actually have that good perception pagdating sa genetics. Okay? That's my favorite topic sa biology pero ayaw nila. Okay? So that is the way kung paano sila nag-respond, kung paano sila nag-receive ng mismong